Can you do like a ring girl?
Yeah.
High above your head?
Yeah.
There you go, ring girl, ring
Welcome back to our channel. My name is Kelly Burleson Cohen. I am sitting here with the THELIFESTYLEDCO design team at our 64th build. This is our brand new spec. We're doing another project tell-all. If you haven't seen our other project tell-all, you can click here or here, Nick will put it somewhere down there, and you can check it out. So, are you guys ready to get started?
We are
Yes,
ready.
we are.
All right, let's kick it off with a little introduction, shall we? Hi, RJ.
Hi, Kelly.
Hi, Kristen.
Hello.
Hi, Kylie.
Hi.
Hi. Okay, it is so great to be sitting here with you all again today. It feels like it's been forever since the last one, so
Can't we just do this all day, every day?
I
If
mean,
it was up to Mick, we would.
I would love to. So, okay, let's just kick it off.
Give me that microphone.
I mentioned in our little intro that this is a spec and not a client project. Can you explain to the audience what exactly that means?
Who wants to take it? You want to take it?
Kylie, let's hear from you.
Go ahead, Mama.
So a spec build is when there's no client involved and it's essentially the builder. So
It's a dream.
Yeah. some of our favorite projects because we really have full control. Our builders really trust us and they really let us do everything we want to do, which is super nice. When there's no client involved, you just don't have to think about a lot of things. So we get to, this is where like all of our design desires and dreams and wants and inspiration that we see throughout all our travels and online, this is where we get to really implement that and put these things into action. So they're honestly show houses, like definitely the coolest, craziest, most amazing features that we could ever want. Things that we see in markets or at kitchen and bath show. You'll see some features in the house that we've picked up there. So they're always really special projects for us. And then we always design them as a full team, which is super nice too.
And I also think that in specs, because we have such long-standing relationships with our builders, we get a little grace in being able to try things that we've never done before, right? Without a client involved. So we are always trying to weigh how much can our client handle, what is the timing like? If for whatever reason this doesn't go the way we planned it, what's the backup plan? In
So
this
would
case?
you say that there's more risk involved when a client is involved?
Yes.
Definitely.
Yeah.
But the spec homes are what the client usually they usually gravitate towards those because you guys get to flex your design muscles, right?
Totally. We always have clients, like past and current clients, interested in our spec projects. I think one of the trade-offs, I would say, to working on a spec versus a client build is like a lot of times we don't know the buyer, and it's kind of like it feels weird to not know anything about them, and we're like, we never get to come back, and like what did they do with the house, and what does it look like? So in a couple instances, in this one even, we have some current clients interested, and it's excited to think about someone that we know. Yeah, they might. Someone that we know getting this house that we love so much would be so rewarding.
Okay, so how does the process, you kind of went into this a little bit, but does the process differ a lot from a spec build to a client project? And like how so?
Yeah, how so? I think in spec design process, the three of us, or Rachel, who's our other lead designer who's always involved, we tend to be able to demonstrate our own kind of personal style, if you will, or like what we're all wanting. And so like RJ will connect with something and be like, I've been saving this, I really want to do this in a situation where we have low risk. Same with Kylie, same thing with me. And so we're all kind of like balancing our ideas versus having to really consider what a client's provided us with inspiration, consider, of course, what their requirements are in terms of how the house functions. In a spec, we really get to and we're involved from the very beginning, even the floor plan. So like in a spec, we're really relying on the floor plan and how like the vision for the house, it's more of like an art piece versus trying to make an art piece for someone, right? And so it's so different from the very beginning, and we get to play a lot more. We get to use really unique materials that maybe we wouldn't normally make it. Of course, in a client project, the client has the final say, and they're saying, hey, I actually don't want to spend $3,000 on that. And we're like, damn it, you don't? We're like, we do. Right, we're like, we do. And they're like, no, I don't. And you're like,
So what were some of those elements to this home that you guys got to play around a little bit with?
Oh my God. So much.
Yeah. RJ,
feel
why
like-
don't you tell us?
I feel like in the kitchen, one of the appliances that you'll see in the house tour is something that we saw at the kitchen and bath show, and we've never seen it done before. We thought it was so cool, so that's kind of what we focused the kitchen design around.
Love it.
Along with some of the like tambour materials and
The bathtub in the primary. I honestly think we picked the pit cooking system first. And we flew a bathtub in from the UK at the same time. And so we were like, we're not designing anymore until you order both of those things. And then once we know they're coming, we'll continue everything else. So like we really did pick like two elements on completely opposite sides of the house and just kind of built from there. And I think that is part of what provided us such, this house is packed full of layers. Like it is so layered.
It is honestly incredible. I cannot wait for you guys to see it on the house tour. It's
gonna be good.
so good. So good. Okay, let's move on. This process has taken about 20 months for this build. Let's talk a little bit about that because I feel like that is a long time. 20 months is, what did we say yesterday? You could have two kids in 20 months.
oh my God, that's crazy.
I equate everything to how long it takes to have a baby. And yeah, you could have two. You could have Irish twins. And yes, it's been a long process. I mean, COVID in the middle. Like we basically presented the design. Then the world shut down 8 weeks later. And then we kind of all had to wait for a while, right? And see, can we even get the materials that we designed, right? Is this even
So did COVID like throw off the process a lot? Did you have to pivot a lot, or how did you adapt to that?
I don't necessarily think we had to pivot. We just had to wait. Like we just had to see what was going to happen.
Kind of a waiting game.
Yeah.
It was like the trades really being delayed from COVID, so I think that was big.
Yeah, we just had to wait and make sure that what we had designed was going to still be a good investment for our builders who are our clients, right, in a spec. So that was hard, and they were gracious and amazing and wonderful and all the things you would want in a partner, and so we just kept in close contact, and this was the first site we came to when we were coming out of quarantine and like trying to do our job again. We met right out front. We got in the same car and we were all like, should we be in the car together? Like, we had masks on, like the whole thing. Like we got Bloody Marys to go, which was silver lining from COVID.
Honestly, okay, if you're a restaurateur, like please keep doing this.
I think the waiting game also helped the real estate market in Arizona and a bunch of other markets is insane. So the value of this house, even from when it would have been done last year to now, it's just raised so much. So it all worked out, but I'm so happy to actually be in the finished home, finally.
Okay, so we might touch on this a little bit in the house tour, but I want you to talk a little bit about the cooktop. And if I'm not mistaken, this is what you saw at the kitchen and bath show that we've never seen done before. And you guys, it's incredible.
It is.
Whose brainchild was that?
Honestly, we all saw it at the same time, all three of us, and we like ran to it at the show.
And it was like a random booth.
Very random, in the back.
In a corner.
Which we always do actually. From the show, we never go in the main entrance. We always go in that's always our strategy.
100%.
We always go
top floors.
Yep, top floors, work your way down.
In the corner where the lights are flickering.
It's literally like this is low budge and but they have good shit and we always end up getting something cool like in these back corners where maybe we wouldn't see something right in the front. So we have the luxury of working with amazing appliance brands, right? And we love them all, and they all have many strengths and honestly not very many weaknesses. So in a lot of ways, you don't ever have to think about why we're going to reinvent the use of a cooktop. But the pit cooking system is just so unique. Each burner is individual, so you could make a 20 burner cooktop if you wanted. You could make a 2 burner cooktop. You could split the cooktop, and you can put anything underneath it. So where you would typically see a cooktop with your cold rolled steel or metal or whatever, you can put quartz. You can basically put anything other than wood, obviously. But you can't.
It doesn't get hot, right?
It does not get hot. The unit is completely contained. So like the entire burner and all of the gas, all the BTU that comes from it is completely contained within the cast iron components. So easy for cleaning. You can pick them right up, wipe everything. Like it was we were just completely blown away. Wok burner, like this is a high level piece of cooking machinery. So, and also our builder has never installed it. We've never ordered it. We've never installed it. We've never seen it done. So we were like, yay, let us know when it comes. let us know when it comes, and hopefully it works out. And from the second it got here, we were like tearing through the box and wanting to see it. And I mean, it's right behind us, and it is
it's amazing.
absolute next level. The contrast with the burners and the quartz coming through and the front controls, it looks pro. Like it is. I hope we can talk a lot of people into it.
Well, I think one look at that, people will be like, yes, please.
Yes. I know.
Yeah. Okay, so we're all big wine drinkers here. That might resonate with some of you. I don't know. Talk about the cava.
So the cava is something that we built and designed in the dining room over there. And we decided to make these arched sort of inset that feels like you're in a wine cellar, but somewhere to store your wine, but still looks beautiful.
Right.
Yeah, so there's actually light that comes from underneath each arch, and then there's the brick in the back. Then you can set all your bottles up, so you can actually display them, drink them. I drink them before I can display them, but hopefully whoever buys this house has enough to store it. But I think it just is a beautiful focal point that looks good, but is also functional, and I think that's something that will probably sell the house.
I agree. And you still get storage. So we've still got the built-in. I think we're always looking for ways to design something that we've never seen before or that reinvents the typical use, right? In this floor plan, this is an all-day dining room. So that's the only dining space that there is. So it needs to function. You need to feel comfortable eating breakfast there. I love to have wine with breakfast. I'm good. You have to feel comfortable. Right. I know. No, it's a summer red. Summer chilled red. But and in this floor plan as well, these window walls open up. They are from Sierra Pacific. They're absolutely stunning. And so there's still a lot of light. So we didn't feel like, although it's called the cava, like it's not dark. And that's a lot of times when you get that wine moment, it's like a dark, really moody room. It doesn't have to be.
It doesn't have to be.
Still be light and bright.
I mean, I love that iteration of your typical like wine cellar. So
you guys will have to watch the house tour because you're not gonna be able to see it from the tell-all, but it's gonna be all over the house.
Can you tell we're trying to hook you in? Click into the house tour. Okay, another question, and I am so sorry. Andy is being really inappropriate right now. I yell at you guys for that, and
is it buzzing on your butt?
It's buzzing on my butt.
I didn't even hear it.
I can find a way this time.
Yeah.
It's buzzing on my butt.
Somewhere.
Sorry, thought I turned it off. Okay.
Andy.
Let's go, Andy. I know.
Back to.
Jeez. Okay, embarrassing.
This is your alter ego. I
think it is
perfectly.
It's too easy. It's too easy. It's too easy. I don't know. I had it hiding. Okay, let's talk about the pool. So my office, in our office, is right next to yours, and I overhear a lot of conversations about this particular design. And one of the conversations I found particularly interesting was getting black water in the pool. And I think the builder was on the other line, and they were maybe asking about a tile color, and you were like, I don't want anything that looks blue. We need black water. Obviously, it's not actually black water. So
the black bottom pool for people, some people they can't wrap their mind around it. The water's not black. The water's the same color.
It's not. The reflection of the water shows black.
So when you're designing a pool, the first thing you should do is work backward in what color you want your water. So it's a very simple concept to us, but we feel like for whatever reason, like it doesn't get brought up in a lot of consumer pool design, right? And I don't even know that it gets brought up that much in professional pool design. So you should really be thinking about how do I want my water to feel? We have people who are like, I want to feel like I'm in the Caribbean. We're always like, we want to feel like we're in Europe. Like we want like a European lagoon vibe.
Like Euro vibes.
Yes,
in this
So it's got a black bottom pool. And in this case, the black of the Pebble Tech is what makes it black. But let's say you're going for like a neutral green, like sea color. The actual Pebble Tech color is kind of a light brown, like tan. So the difference in the color of the bottom of the pool is what will ultimately dictate the color of your water. And then we lined it with with a white marble waterline mosaic tile that's like, I just keep looking out at it. Because it just draws you in and you feel, it's like so tranquil. I think that's the other thing, it feels so tranquil.
Totally.
I don't know that I feel tranquil when I'm like in a Caribbean.
Bright blue.
I'm like, let's party.
Like
the lagoon, I'm like.
And I think also the placement of the pool here, right when you see it, right when you walk into the front doors.
Great point.
And that really sets the tone when you walk into the house. So I think we wanted that to still feel super balanced and representative of the rest of the
And
home.
almost like a water feature too.
Yes.
Like
Yeah.
because of the placement from the foyer, when you see it and those doors open, we want it to feel like a water feature. We want it to have movement. You know, like
Also the size, I feel like because it's a smaller plunge pool, the black bottom really works. It's
Yeah.
not like dark and
Yeah.
ominous.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I think it's a totally normal.
water's still water.
Water's still water. Totally normal question. Like I think most people actually maybe think the water is black. It's like, no. Now that would be magic.
That's some designer trade secret shit right there. Okay, so let's switch gears to interiors.
Okay.
I heard that you designed this home sitting around a table at another install.
With no design board.
Yeah.
Well, yes.
We just cranked it out.
Yeah, we were down to the wire. You know, 20 months
usually are with
notice.
stages.
20 months notice. It just snuck up on us, and all of a sudden we were like, "Holy shit, we need furniture!" And so we were installing our Beaver Creek project, and honestly, all glory. Yeah.
Not that long
It's like
ago.
5 minutes ago. All glory to our support and assisting team because they were running around crazy, and we were able to sit there and focus. We weren't focusing. We were just like adding to cart, trying to find anything we possibly could. Yeah. Honestly, we staged this whole house with obviously furniture from the Lifestyle Co. Some of our tried and true vendors that we knew we could get. That's the other thing is when you're designing in this kind of like. And our warehouse moved halfway through. So that was another thing where we're like, where do we ship stuff? Like our warehouse physically moved.
There were quite a few challenges throughout this process. One being, global pandemic. Two being, you can't get furniture because supply chain is all sorts of messed up. Our warehouse moved halfway through. But I think you guys came out on top. It's pretty
I'm
damn
actually
good.
shocked that
me too.
all the furniture came. I think we had to respec one thing. Yeah.
The table came 3 days after the install, which is convenient. And we're big like, let the design gods speak. This is another point to clients and their control, right? Like, of course, a client wants to feel in control, and we do too. Like, it's not that we don't want to, but like sometimes it's not in the cards. And the more that we try to manipulate it, and the more that we're like so committed to X, Y, or Z, it makes it's the harder path. And we just kind of let it happen. And so, like, when for whatever reason we can't get said chair, like we'll pick another chair, right? We're not that committed to it. And I don't mean to be. Say that clients don't have a reason to feel connected to what we designed in their furnishings, but like ultimately it is a chair, and we're gonna find another great chair, and unless that chair is like the chair, and honestly, like an Ames chair is the only chair that I'll we're not respecting that. There's really not that like if these chairs wouldn't have come, we would have found something else. But we also don't have to send it to a client for approval, wait for their approval, talk them off the ledge, explain to them why we think this is okay.
Hope it's still in stock after this.
Right. And do you think that'll look good? Don't ask your designers that.
Please.
We wouldn't have shown it to you if we thought it wouldn't look good. Like,
Mom, I know you're listening.
yes, your mom, Marie. Are you sure that'll look good? We'll go before your one last question, Cinch.
Yeah.
You look so beautiful today.
Thank you. That's so nice. Thanks. Okay, so this home has a very clear identity within organic desert living. And we haven't really talked about that too much in this little sit down yet. So did that come naturally for you guys? I know organic desert living is our trademarked signature aesthetic. So that really lives within everybody, but tell me about that process.
Definitely.
Yeah.
This was the moodiest version.
Yeah.
Especially because, again, we don't have a client who's showing us white kitchens. Like, we love you guys, obviously, but we're constantly trying to talk people out of white kitchens, right? So, like, we knew that this room could handle it, and I definitely think this is the moodiest.
And the edgiest.
The edgiest. It's very California vibes, very vineyard. We wanted Napa. Like, we wanted to feel like this, like, vineyard kind of Northern California layered, all seasons type of amazingness, doesn't just gravitate toward winter or summer. But yeah, I don't even think we didn't really talk much about like identity other than Napa,
Yeah.
ODL,
I think there was, like, one
contrast.
house that we had
And the
for
bathtub.
inspo for the
Yeah.
exterior,
Yeah, we had an inspo house for exterior that was just
And then
simple and
yeah.
clean, and then
But
it's just fun.
Yeah, it's so good. Okay, so let's talk about your favorite spaces of the project. That's gonna be really hard because I usually have like a select one when I walk through. Like, I really love that, but I love everything. So
I want to go first.
Yes.
The primary bathroom, hands down. Every single finish in there is just like, you look down, I'm like, oh, I love this the most. Oh, I love this the most. Oh, I love this the most. Like down to the bathtub, to the white grid on the shower, even down to the plumbing finish. There's Kohler plumbing fixtures in there, and we have had it special ordered in their French gold finish, which is absolutely stunning and soft, and the natural light in there is just like, if I got ready in there every day, I would look like a movie star. I'd look like this every day.
we did get ready in there this morning.
But I just think, and it's also a great size. That's my favorite thing about this house, segue into that, is that sometimes we build these huge homes and they're so grand and beautiful, but it's like, oh my gosh, this is huge. Like, you could have 50 people in here. Like, I feel like the primary bathroom is just like the perfect size and fits with the scale of the home, and that's definitely one of mine.
And it's so layered because it's more intimate. We were able to pick really next level finishes because it's not as big, you know. What's yours?
I mean, I was gonna pick that, but
I know,
I'll
so I
pick
wanted to
something
go first.
else.
I think I know mine.
I think mine's the entry. Like, but I have there's so many to pick from. But I just love. Yeah. I love the front doors. That's like the first thing you see when you come up to the house, the fluted glass. And then the border along the entry with the brick, the inlay of the wood, just so many good moments there. The light, the wood.
The light.
The wood hooks on there. It just, I mean, it's such a moment when you walk in. And, yeah.
I love it.
I'm powder bath. I'll tell you what, I hate powder. They know I hate powder baths. Like, that would be the last thing. Powder baths and guest bedrooms, the last things I ever want to design. Because they're just like, there's never any natural light in a powder bath normally. It's just like this weird box with a toilet. Like, it's just hard, you know. We build these big houses with these grand ceilings, and it's really hard. So in this powder bath, we covered every square inch with black tile.
So you capitalize on black.
Yes, exactly. And we always do that. We're like, listen, they're like, paint it white, it'll look bigger. We're like, it's not getting bigger, it's not getting lighter, it's still a toilet box, like it might as well be a litter box. No, we're not doing it. Like, and so we try to make it good. This one isn't, but some are, you know, like you're like, oh my God, this is so sad. What do I do with this? Yeah. And so we everything black. We did this really just simple but interesting, like cantilevered conservatory vanity. Black sink. It's got wall-mounted plumbing. The light is asymmetrical. And then we set it off with the corner with our new micro art collection, which is just perfect in there. We hung it once, and then we came back the next day, and all of them had fallen. Because we didn't want to drill into the tile. Obviously, it's a stage. Like, what if the client's like, I hate this? Or the buyer. So then Kylie was one with the command hooks. And there's, I came this morning, I was like, yes,
I know, me too.
Still here. Yeah, but it's next level. And it's just so intimate. And literally, before we got here, she was like, I should pee. Like, sat down. She's like, I should pee. And I'm like, oh, go in the powder. It's so fun. Yeah. Like, it's so fun. It is, yeah.
Thank you.
Okay. Good job.
Pee. Sleeping on the job.
No. She's like, I'm bartending right now.
Ready.
Welcome back to the 64th Build Project Tell-All. Now, I have a little something up my sleeve. I went a little rogue last night, and I know Kristen loves when I do that, but I did a little Ask the Audience on my Instagram to get like some questions.
Yeah.
And so I picked just two.
Oh, smart. Love.
I just picked two questions. What do you do in a situation where, so on specs you guys design together, what do you do in a situation where you don't agree on something?
Someone asked this? Wow. Well, I'm still the boss. So
She has the final say.
I get,
no, but that's so not true. It is so not like that.
Yeah.
This is what do I always say?
Sell me on it.
Yeah.
Sell me on it.
Why.
And if you really believe in this, especially if the two of you or Rachel, like if you guys really believe in it, I'll go there, which ultimately I have to pay for. So they got to sell me on it, right? But it happens a lot. I feel like a lot. And maybe, is that wrong?
No.
I do, right?
Yeah, I wouldn't say it happens a lot where you're like,
we're normally on the same page.
yes, none of us are ever like, oh my God, absolutely not. Aside from the circles.
One time.
It's not that it's ugly.
Someone showed me a twister floor once.
Yeah.
You guys, it's gonna be good. I'm gonna use it one day, and she's gonna freaking eat her words.
I will.
Yeah, but that's honestly like the only time in the past 4 years I've worked here that I feel like we've ever been like on totally different pages. But I feel like we're all on the same page for the most part. There might be a few things that like maybe we're like we love everything about like 90% of it, but like maybe not there, but like we'll go there, and then it comes out in person, and we always like 99% of the time always love it.
Usually, it's either cost related to where I'm like, some people here spec things that I'm like, what? How much is that? And she's like, but it's so good. And I'm like, what? Yeah, and so I am always the one like reeling it back, and that's my job, right? But I also am like, if you feel like it's really worth it and it's that, like, would you spend your money on this? And if they're like, yes, then I'm like, okay, let's try. So we really don't. We really, and I also can say it sparks dialogue and conversation that like we end up like way past that little amount of like, oh, I don't know. Yeah. But I'm here for it. Like the best designs that we've had have been because we have lead designers and because we collaborate, and more brains are better than one, and it's so true. And that is a question that I get asked a lot just via social media and in business, is like, how do you let go? And I'm always like, I'm not letting go, I'm like opening up. I'm allowing other creative juices and minds and visions to build on what I am lucky enough to be a part of. Like letting go, such a weird phrase to me, and maybe that's because I trust you guys explicitly and like I know you have it under control, but it's not letting go, it's opening up, it's allowing that, and it always turns out in the end. And Kylie really is right. We are constantly, even if I'm like, oh, I don't know about that, and we've even been on site before where we've been like, holy shit, like, is this really what we thought it was gonna look like? And then in the end, we're like, yes! And we're like so into it.
Yeah. It always works out.
But I also think that is a huge benefit to having a curated aesthetic that you know, like I feel safe under Organic Desert Living. I know that as long as it's got all of the tones and textures and the vibe and everything that we designed to, it can't be wrong. Yeah. It just can't, you know, and it's just another iteration of, and you know, you're not gonna see like hot blue from us. You're just not. It's just not. It's not what we like. It's not what we do. So,
and if you do, it's because
or a client made us.
Yeah.
That's a great question. I really like that.
Yeah.
See, I love when you go rogue. I just get scared.
It always works out at the end.
It does, right?
That's a good motto for us.
Design gods.
Yeah. The design gods. Yeah.
We do. We're
Yeah.
always praying to
Kind of my god.
Yeah. I just have one more question for you guys.
Totally. No, I don't want to speak over.
I mean, I can think of more if you really want.
Get into that gram. No.
All right. Okay, so one more question about the lighting. So you mentioned on your Instagram when you guys were giving tours, this is some of the best lighting that we've ever specced. RJ, I want you to tell me a little bit about that, and then I want to hear from each of you, like what your favorite piece is, and then maybe Nick can do like a little B-roll situation in there to show people. Yeah.
I feel
no clients to tell us no.
Yeah. Basically. And I feel like every lighting is a moment. Nothing is too underwhelming. Like everything just stands out so much, and it's from some of the best lighting vendors that we have. And we just could pick whatever we wanted.
So how do you make different types of lights and like different styles all work together? Like what's the key? Scale. And I think that's tell me about scale.
Yeah, we literally just said this yesterday.
Yeah. Consistently in all of our designs and all of our projects, with our regardless clients or not, I think that's one of our strongest. It's just lighting. Like it makes or breaks the house. People will put in scale 100%. These big ceilings and these pitch roof, like you need big lighting and oversized.
So by scale, you mean
Size.
big room, big light, or
if it's smaller, like it just has to be done right. You need to know, like you need to take into account every single fixture that you're taking in at the same time throughout the rest of the house.
Plane, heights. I think people a lot of times they chicken out, and lighting gets expensive really fast. Like you can go from 24 inches and $500 to 48 inches and $2,500, right? So like it gets expensive really fast, and I think that's part of what makes people feel like, oh, I should pick the medium because the large is really expensive, and it's like space really calls for a large. Yeah. And I also think we tend to design lighting per space ish, but we're always like swapping and like playing kind of lighting roulette. And we're like, at one point we thought that this chandelier might go in the dining room, and then and I'm so happy that we picked it there. It would have been huge in the dining room.
I mean, that's
But we're also like, we're oversized lighting people. Yeah, like that's a 60-inch round. This thing is, I think this thing says, so I was gonna say 76, 72, something like that. Yeah, it's huge, exactly. And I also think people don't often account for, you're always going to be on the ground. Right. Your eyes are never gonna be higher than they are, right? And most humans aren't taller than 6 feet and a few inches, right? And so you really have to take into account what you're viewing from the ground. Right. And they don't, right? I think as consumers, it's hard, and they also, I think, don't necessarily have the resources to know where to look, so they're going to Home Depot, and it's like, like, oh my God, no, like you're not gonna find, exactly, like you're not gonna find, like, please don't, love Home Depot, but please, like that's for lumber and building supplies, not lighting, right? And now with online resources and the Lifestyle Co, we have a ton of the lighting that we use from some of our most trusted providers that are in our projects on our website. But yeah, I think we are known for our lighting, and we believe really strongly in it, and it's always, though, so interesting, I'm thinking about this, always a bone of contention with clients. It's always the thing we have to fight for the hardest. And there has been several times that I have said, I'll buy the light back. Just let us install it. If you don't like it, and that's not the way, one, it's not profitable. Like, I can't just be like, return policy. If you don't like it, I'll buy it back. But there are pieces that I'm like, this is, like, if you're gonna fight me on these, these pendants helped make the kitchen, right? Like, and they're expensive, and blah, blah, blah. And I think in understanding that a little bit, I have said so many times, I'll buy it back if you don't like it.
Moral of the story, fight for the lighting that you believe in.
Fight for the lighting.
Fight for the lighting you believe in.
I would rather have you buy a light fixture every quarter, every 6 months, honest to God, as long as you can see, than like buy a bunch of shit that you don't like because I get that everyone can't spend a huge budget on lighting at the same time, but pick fixtures strategically, go for like the glory. We're always like, what's the moment? What's the moment? Whatever, like everything can't be a moment. And even in this lighting package, everything isn't a moment, right? Like these are hung at a different height than the main fixture is. In the entry, that was a moment. That was a custom-made light fixture. Like we knew that was gonna be costly.
All right, so we'll wrap it up with favorite light fixture.
Mine's the entry.
Entry?
For sure, yeah.
God, that's a hard one.
I love the one in the primary bath, which was a game time change. Yeah, that was actually supposed to be a different fixture, and it came and it was the wrong color, or completely different than what we thought. So sent it back, and we actually saw this fixture, and we went to Dallas back in January, and we saw it in person there, and even seeing it in person in this space here, it looks completely different, and it's so good. It's probably one of my favorite fixtures.
It's so good.
I love it. And I feel like it makes the vibe of the bathroom. Totally.
For sure. God, I love them. I really do love this one. This is uplighting. And so it shines and like really illuminates the beams, which I think are really different and very characteristic. And here we went with a pine beam, which we don't often do. So you've got a lot of that nodding, and it's grand. And I love that you can see, you'll have to watch the house tour so you see it. But I think this one, and it's a big beefy sucker, and there's not a ton of lights that could make it in that space. And that one is really, really good.
Like the design process, like the install, this one was fast and furious. It was a quickie. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for being here. Make sure you catch the house tour and subscribe to our channel. We have new good content coming at you. See you next time.
Give me that love.